Hello and welcome to yet another edition of TTF Reads. I am Lalita. Along with my colleague Ratan, let's read an excerpt from the article How Effective Coaching is Rooted in the Lived Realities of Students by Hal Harris. This article focuses on the numerous benefits of instructional coaching for teachers in their professional development journey. The author, Hal Harris, serves as Senior Director of Program Implementation and Adjunct Trainer Course at New Leaders, New York, USA. He is committed to developing educators and leaders who are powerful and positive forces for change where it matters most in schools and for students.
How effective coaching is rooted in the lived realities of students. Good coaching leaves a legacy. And here is how an instructional coach forever changed the way one school leader, Hal Harris, taught his high school students and later on led his school.
First of all, Ratan, what is instructional coaching?
There may be no consensus, Lalita, about the approach that one takes in instructional coaching, but fundamentally it's a simple thing. It's defined by someone called Sam Sims as involving an expert teacher working with a novice in an individualized, classroom-based observation, feedback, and practice cycle. And here's someone else who says, instructional coaches partner with teachers to help them improve teaching and learning so that students can become more successful.
So let's listen to Hal Harris. In 2014, an instructional coach helped me successfully complete one of the greatest challenges I had encountered in my career. Her coaching changed my teaching and later how I led as a school principal. Because of under-enrollment that year, my principal laid off some teaching staff. The cuts we made left us short of an English teacher. Later that day, I approached my principal and asked to take over those English classes. What do you know about teaching English? He asked. I was a social studies guy. My pedagogy was rooted in primary sources analysis and argumentative writing. It can't be that different, I mused out loud.
Well, famous last words. And Hal Harris continues in his narrative. A week of clunky teaching disabused me of all confidence. I could not guide students in deeply engaging in texts. I struggled with teaching the concepts of theme, tone, and mood. Students didn't complete assigned readings at home and bombed all the comprehension quizzes. I came back to my principal asking for support, and he assigned me a coach who was renowned for her coaching expertise. What, Lalita? Do you think you would have been as confident as Hal Harris?
I don't think so, but I do know for sure that there are many times in a teacher's career that we are faced with such unpredictable situations, unforeseen situations.
Yeah. So, while others had coached me before, it was simply a cover for a transactional process. Submit this lesson plan, pilot this new curriculum, and make sure to give exit tickets. She was the first to ask me a radical question during all of our time together. What was the impact of your behavior and decisions on the academic outcomes of your students? A questioning led to a productive time together that honed in on 3 effective principles of instructional and, later in my career, leadership coaching. So, here's a question for everyone, and first of all for you, Lalita. What do you think the coach did to help out the teacher?
The coach suggested a focus on student work at every meeting to center equity. Reading further from the excerpt, Harris says, my coach always asked me, what was the impact of your behavior and decisions on the academic outcomes of your students? Every coaching session began with examining student work to determine mastery and alignment to standards. Depending on the coaching focus, the type of student work we looked at changed. Exit tickets, reading comprehension, quizzes, unit assessments, and interim data. Rooting our time together in student work gave the coaching relationship a measurable and result oriented impact. It also was a forward measure toward equity. Our coaching was rooted in the lived, objective reality of our students via work analysis, which allowed us to focus on daily grade level progress and not move goalposts by focusing on how instruction felt or other vagaries.
So, here, I guess the word equity implies differentiated teaching for different types of learners. Secondly, coaching relationships endure and coaching foci are timed. So, this was one of the big things that Hal Harris got out of this interaction. However, we only had a limited period of time to ensure the students in my English class made grade level progress. My coach strategically set up 6-week time blocks to teach me and assess my proficiency on important strategies such as making meaning from the text, close reading strategies, and classroom differentiation.
During this interaction period, Ratan, how do you think the relationship between the coach and teacher developed?
Hal has added that he developed an enduring bond with his coach, moving beyond routine schoolwork. In the process, he gained a close friend. Besides, the guide urged the author to analyze the student work samples, and through targeted, timely coaching goals, he asked many questions that allowed him to own both his results and take command of his own pedagogical development. So I think what stands out is that in a true coaching situation, the relationship between individuals develops beyond the transactional level, both personally and professionally.
Interesting. Thirdly, the coach showed Hal Harris that self reflection fuels ownership. Harris further writes, "She did not prescribe me an instruction booklet of directions when, with a stack of exit tickets, showed a lack of mastery. She interrogated my lesson design until I arrived at an understanding of my lack of teaching clarity and a plan for reteaching." Leaders can apply these same principles to both instructional and leadership coaching. It helped the novice English teacher I used to be to learn how to teach literacy. And as a school principal, it helped me to develop leaders who were focused on the daily grade level outcomes of our students, a key move towards pursuing equity. At the end of that year, 90% of my English class scored proficient in the final exam. Embedded within that success was also authentic literacy instruction. I was able to take the skills I learned from my coach and apply them to my social studies classes by expanding our reading materials and making the course interdisciplinary.
Wonderful. The transferability of learnings, which is what, as teacher educators, all of us desire to inculcate. So, to conclude, strong coaching leaves a legacy. Years after supporting my students in getting their English results, I used her same coaching skill set in developing teachers and administrators as a school principal. Her influence lived on in the results my team was able to get with their students in all subject areas. So I think that was a wonderful outcome. So hence, imbuing coaching or embedding coaching as part of the professional development framework of teachers, it's a vital way to ensure that rigor and equity lives within learning communities. I must say that's quite a lot for us to chew on and think about. But immediately, Lalita, what do you think are 3 main takeaways from this article that we just read out?
Well, firstly, instructional coaching builds lifelong confident learners. Secondly, it fosters meaningful relationships between colleagues. Thirdly, it improves teachers' efficacy and students' learning outcomes. And fourthly, the teachers own their learning through self-reflection, thereby enhancing their professional growth.
Wonderful. That's a number of takeaways. And I'd like to add, lastly and most importantly, it takes practice and patience to build one's skills as a coach, however good you might be as an expert teacher. An effective coach needs to be that, much more than an experienced teacher. So, a coach needs to be skilled in enabling reflection, solving problems, providing feedback, and setting their coachee or the novice teacher on their path of self discovery as a very good teacher. So, if you are interested in building your skills as a school coach, TTF's Coaching for School Success, or the CFSS program as we call it, is what you are looking for. For more details, do go to our website www.teacherfoundation.org to learn more about this program.
If you have liked this edition of TTF Reads, please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can find more reads, podcasts, webinars, and other interesting educational resources. Bye.
And thank you for listening. See you next time.